Welcome to the Monday Monologue. And sorry there's been a little vacuum of content on my channel, but I took a nice long, almost 2-week vacation road trip and got back last week. Did a video last week about that really cool snow engine that I saw at the Cool Power Museum up in Pennsylvania. It's near Puxatawny. Saw Puxatawny Phil, the groundhog. That wasn't on my bingo card for the trip. Saw the Kasua Bridge. Went to the Finger Lakes up in New York. Almost went to Niagara Falls, but I decided to just kind of drive around in that area. Did a lot of cruising around on 2-lane roads up there and just got to see that part of the country that I've never seen before. I went to Luray Caverns and then went by the Train Museum in Norfolk, Virginia. Saw the old steam trains and stuff there. 611 was there getting worked on, and that was really cool. Basically just got some downtime from my work on these amplifiers and projects and YouTube channel and all that stuff, and so feeling refreshed. When I got back, I realized that I really needed to knock out a couple of these phono preamps that folks have put deposits on, and they're all done except for I'm waiting on some coupling caps from Maddie Sound. They were out of stock on one of them. Should have those next week, so you guys that are waiting on that, these should ship out hopefully by the end of next week. Like I said, they're all done, just waiting on the coupling caps. Also have a KT88 single-ended integrated amp that I'm building for a customer as a custom one-off kind of a deal. Probably going to do like a short series on it. Not going to go into a lot of detail, but I'm just probably going to show you a schematic. It's basically going to be very similar to the KT120 monoblock style circuit. It's going to use a 6DJ7 triode strap as the driver tube and some big head core transformers. And I've built that amp in the past, and then I took it apart to repurpose the transformers and stuff for my 300B amp. And now that I've put some ISO Tango transformers in my 300B amp, I'm going to build this guy an amplifier out of this kind of stuff to go with the color preamp he bought. So you are next on my list of stuff. I'm going to get started on that this week. So what's the video about today? I want to talk about a very disturbing trend that I'm seeing from manufacturers towards people like me that do YouTube reviews. Now, I've tried to share with you guys when someone gives me the product to review. And I hope you believe me when I say that I'm going to tell you exactly what it is. And I just recently reviewed some of those AYAMA amps, and the little small one, just wasn't that impressed with it. The little A70, much better. And I told those folks, hey, when you send me something, that does not guarantee you that I'm going to give it some glowing review because you're sending me this thing. I'm happy to just ship it back to you if that's the case. And so I'm not sure how other reviewers work, but clearly there's other folks out there that are accurately reviewing products, and those folks are getting sued by manufacturers or taken to court by manufacturers for giving honest reviews. And these guys that are just willy-nilly throwing out glowing reviews on everything that comes across their desk are getting a pass. And that is just wrong. Tecton Speakers have gone after a couple of YouTube or internet folks. I think Amir was challenged by them. There's been this big one, DCS Systems or something in Australia. Some lithium battery company making off-road batteries or something. They're actually taking the YouTuber to court and saying that, he is causing harm to their brand and they want monetary damages paid. And this is getting out of hand. all these companies that are doing this crap. And if you remember, Wilsonon threatened to sue me or threatened legal action against me initially, and then they did some crazy open letter. I think that was China Hi-Fi, saying that I was trying to discredit me or something, and claiming that this isn't happening and that's not happening, and then saying, yeah, there's no R8 Mark II. And then if you go look at Amazon right now, it says, hey, this is our new version. What are these companies doing? To me, they're committing marketing suicide. And I hope you guys see this in the same way. When they want to collaborate with the community, whether it's through YouTube, reviewers or influencers or whatever you want to call me, like me, or whether it's on the forums when people are complaining about their products, then that's great. And that's what this feedback loop should look like. And I know if, people started talking about like my phono stages and were saying, hey, they're actually doing this, and here's how you can fix it. You can change the way, the turntable grounding is set up, or you can change how the wiring is done, or put this different part inside it. I'd be like, cool. I can update my products. And I'm not going to say that these are perfect or my, EL34 amp is perfect and there's not going to be some revisions along the way, because as things are out in production, issues come up. And that's just part of manufacturing anything. Like one of my EL34 amps, guy emailed me, hey, it blew the fuse. What do you think's going on? And then I actually had one, when testing, when I powered it on, it blew the fuse. And it was a bad rectifier tube. So now I'm finding out those Sovtech rectifier tubes, they're still hit or miss. And so I may end up switching to supplying these things with just new old stock Fav AR4s, or I may switch to 5V4s. They're much more plentiful new old stock, and the amp will only lose a couple, handful of volts on the plate, which aren't going to affect anything. So that product's going to morph as it goes along. And this thing could change too. I'm not intending it to. I think it sounds awesome the way it is, and I haven't run into any problems. But anyway, the point is, you're supposed to take feedback from your customers or from reviewers and then improve your products. And that's the way this is supposed to work. But what we're seeing is, if you don't give an over-the-top glowing review that this is the best thing you've ever seen and that it's exactly like it's sold, then these people start threatening a lawsuit or take down the video. And this is a horrible precedent to set. And I'm not sure if this is just Australian law, but that guy is saying that he can actually be held liable for comments that are posted on his platform by other people. That's crazy. That is totally out of control. And it's totally allowing these businesses to just bully the crap out of people that don't give glowing reviews. So then we end up with a bunch of reviewers that are afraid to say anything other than, OMG, this is the best thing you've ever heard, and this thing is perfection, and you need to go buy one, because if you don't say that, you're opening yourself up to legal action. And if you go watch Aaron's audio channel, I'll put his thing below. He's just dancing around this Tecton guy, trying to avoid ending up in a lawsuit over it. And the guy was like freaking out saying, oh my God, you tested this thing without the feet being screwed into the bottom of it. And that's why you got the results, and you should be ashamed of yourself. And then when he went back and screwed the feet in it, whatever, it made like within the error of measurement difference. That's not what was going on. And he didn't give them a horrible review. He didn't say these things are junk. He was just pointing out some of the issues that keep this from being like a holy grail speaker. And I've listened to them. They sound fine. But after seeing the way this guy has acted and how much of a jerk he's been, there's no way I would buy any of his products, because if he treats a reviewer like that, if you're a customer that has a weird problem that he thinks isn't his fault, he's going to act the same way. People don't change their character or how they act based on what's going on. They're just like that. So I hope you guys are watching what's going on. I hope you guys will weigh in and defend these folks that are trying to review products and tell you exactly what you're buying, so we don't end up with just a bunch of infomercial type content on YouTube and other platforms. So anyway, that's kind of my rant for this week. It really hits close to home because, as you know, I'm not going to give glowing reviews to stuff that I don't think is worthy of it. And I've got a couple other products coming in, or they're actually here, that I need to review. Got another AYAMA tube preamp that we're going to be listening to. See what that's all about. And Andrew at Sparkos sent me another pair of those op amps to put in that preamp to see how that changes how that preamp works, because that little preamp works really good. It might be an option for folks on a budget that maybe you can't afford, my hand-built color preamp, but you're looking for something kind of like that. The other thing is Andrew at Sparkos also sent me his little Gemini headphone amp, and I bought some, what are those things? HD 600s. I can't remember who makes them. I'll put it up here. But I bought a pair of headphones, and I haven't listened to headphones in years, but I know a lot of you folks are headphone users, and so I want to play around with using headphones on some of these products, like I did with this little guy here. I tried it with the speakers and the headphones, kind of see the difference in that, and we're going to be checking that out. I'm going to also listen to the headphone output of that Wilsonon Node X that I bought, and see if I can find something that's kind of a reference for headphone use. And then we do have in the timeline, and I've got some parts here to build a little tube headphone amp, which may or may not work good. We'll find out. So that's another little fun deal. And like I said earlier in the video, next on the bench is going to be, besides these reviews, is going to be this KT88 version of my KT120 monoblocks. It's like a scaled down version. Some of you guys might find that neat. It's not going to be one of those super detailed step-by-step kind of videos. It's going to be more of like, here's a schematic, here's kind of an overview, here's kind of what the layout looks like, here's the parts if you want to build one of these, and that sort of a thing. I'm not going to do super involved thing, because I actually think I did a video series about an almost identical amp that I built years ago. And so it's going to be a kind of a refresher on that. Really good sounding little amp. And then get back on the 6C33C. I need to finish up that series. And yeah, I'm trying to just get some of this stuff off my bench. I want to get this mailed back this week. I finished the build series, or the mod series on this. Got one more video to make on tube rolling and testing and all that stuff. The mods on this turned out really nice. Even the modded one of these, though, it's not something I jump up and down about. And I'm not even sure it's better than a modified 812. But it is a small form factor. It has a headphone jack. Yeah, especially if you already own one of these, it's probably worth trying the mods on it. I still don't know if I would go out and buy one of these to mod and then have as your main amp. I could see it being okay, like in your office or something, for lower volume levels, kind of a thing, to have a little conversation piece, kind of amp. But I digress, kind of getting off topic here. So hopefully y'all are enjoying my content, maybe giving you some time to go back and look at some of my earlier videos. I'm going to link below some of my how to learn about tube audio for you guys that are just getting started. I did a video on resources about learning about tube audio. And soon we're going to do another video on kind of some newer books that I found and all that kind of stuff. So stay tuned for that. And then finally, we're going to do our music of the week. And I know some of y'all are going to laugh, but give this a try before you laugh at it. Okay, this guy did some pop songs that may or may not be that crazy about, but the other tracks on these albums are some really interesting music. And especially with all the streaming options now, give these a try. We have the first album, Kissing to Be Clever by the Culture Club. Now, it has that Do You Want to Hurt Me, which we all heard on the radio back in the day, and that's the worst track on this album. The rest of the album is some really fun to listen to music. So check this one out. Then I also got, kind of went out on a binge here. I think this is his third album. Which one is this one? Waking Up with the House on Fire. And I've listened to this streaming, found a sealed copy of this. I haven't even opened this up to listen to this one yet. But listen to this on streaming, same thing. Got some really interesting music. Finally was their second album, which is also really good. And I don't have it sitting here with me. So, anyway, go try the Culture Club. I mean, I remember when this music was fresh and new or whatever, and he was kind of a pop star, alt generation thing on MTV and all that stuff, but I'm really surprised at how cool some of these songs are that I had never heard back in the day. So anyway, I think we're going to wrap up the Monday Monologue there. Thanks to all you Patreon supporters. Thanks to you subscribers. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. We've hit 15K, or I need to look real close to it if we haven't hit it. So that's really fun. Hopefully y'all are enjoying this content. I'm trying to mix it up, doing some reviews of some more modern hi-fi stuff, and then also build videos, and then reviews of other tube gear, and just, trying to keep things fresh. Also have some, they're Purify. They're like those Hypex Class D amps. A guy's sending me a couple of, I would consider high-end monoblocks that have a tube front-end buffer board, which should be really cool. And they should be here in the next week or so. And so we're going to be checking that. I know some of you folks have sent me comments. Hey, you thought about building something with these Hypex modules? I personally not going to, but it'll be interesting to see what these high-powered Class D hi-fi modules sound like. So, again, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week for the Monday Monologue.